a fascinating phone call, and I apologize to everyone who's in the audience. But I think that we'll be able to use the phone call to ultimately add more value to the timepiece community and specifically to Genesis piece timepiece holders. So I'm really excited, but I can't talk about it. But that was why I was late. But it's 10:01. Do we want to give everyone like one more minute? Can I give everyone 1 second just to like let it continue on? And thank you all so much for joining today. We deliberately moved the time earlier based on your feedback, and then also based on stats that we're beginning to learn about the Discord community, right? And where we're seeing people being located, and it's absolutely fascinating. And so we're at 274. I'm going to give it 1 minute. Has DJ Bad, has he started with any of his absolutely terrible music, or are we skipping your music today?
Yeah, you just have to imagine the music. That's it's in the metaverse.
Okay, so for anyone who this is your first town hall, welcome. It's really, this is super important to us as an organization as we evolve into the Web3 space, that we really that we're here and we put ourselves out to you all every week in full transparency. And what we want to make sure we do is we tell you sort of what we are seeing, how we're evolving, what we're changing, right? Because as we've all seen, like, the space moves very fast. There's a lot of great suggestions that are coming in that make us think quite a bit about our strategy, and really just to continue to provide updates on like how we're seeing timepieces evolve. And so, we appreciate you taking the time and joining us for these meetings and for these town halls. And if you have ideas as to how we can continue to make them better and more efficient, please put them in the suggestions, right? Suggestions is never, ever going to go away. Like, I think that what we're going to find is that we are in a perpetual state of learning and evolving. And so I figured that in true Web3 manner, there's nothing better or more appropriate than to start all town halls with a GM or a GN, for depending on where you are. But like, more than anything else, what we have stressed and what we've seen over the past, this Discord community has only really been live for a little over 2 weeks, is that this community is really beginning to develop nicely. And it's a different community than what we saw 2 weeks ago. And, it's really beginning to take shape around the values that we as an organization intend to uphold within this community. One of optimism, one of positivity, one of constructive feedback, and one of give first, right? And you're seeing that quite a bit, like people helping other people through this. And I can't tell you how, from the bottom of our hearts, myself, Maya, Barat, Lane, just how much we appreciate that. Because from the get-go, we've said, like, we're playing a long game here. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. And I think that you're going to be really pleased, as you start to hear, and I'm going to share with you some stats about the community and the growth and hiring and how we're evolving out, where we're going with this. I think that we're all going to start to see sort of what does a long game look like versus what does short-term thinking look like. And, before I jump into that, there's one thing I did want to sort of stress, which is the importance of safety, right? And we know that no matter how good any technology can be, and I think that blockchain technology and NFTs and the connectivity and the transparency that we have is amazing. There's no technology that has been invented for good that can also be used for bad. And, what we saw in Creature Toads was, the technology being used for bad. But, the flip side, if you saw what happened with Andrew Wang and what was going on, we saw the community use it for good too, right? And we saw that the community was able to find and trace and return funds to people. And that to me makes me hopeful that good will prevail over bad in this space. But at the same time, we see that there is a lack of maturity in some aspects of the community. And while that's fine to an extent, there are instances that we've been very clear are lines that we will not tolerate, no matter who anyone is. Racist comments is a good example of. We have banned many people who have stated that, and we've banned people who have held many pieces who have stated that, and it does not make a difference. There'll be no place for that in the community. Yesterday, we did have an instance where somebody was impersonating Lane. And so I just want to make sure that you all were aware of that, and just a few things on that note. First, we find it flattering to an extent. I find it flattering to an extent that they would impersonate Lane. Like, Lane's definitely the nicest of the four of us. So there's no doubt that that's why they went for her. But be careful. There's two things that you will know. One is that we are never, ever, not in Discord and not on the Timepieces Twitter handle, ever going to DM you and ask you for personal information, ever, right? And when the impersonator happened to Lane, I was telling this story, and I apologize for the soliloquy, but I thought it would make you all laugh and smile at this moment in time, where I had an impersonator on Twitter, and this was like a few years ago, and the impersonator literally only tweeted, it was my picture and my bio, but only tweeted in Spanish. And on Mother's Day, the impersonator actually tweeted Happy Mother's Day to my mom before I was able to even tweet Happy Mother's Day to my mom. And when I complained to Twitter about them, and they took the impersonator off, I got reprimanded by my mom. And so we're not in that type of situation, but while impersonations can be flattering, we're going to take the more precautious perspective here, and just know that Bharat, Maya, Lane, myself, the mods are never going to ask you for any information. So anyway, back to some real stuff that I think is really important as it relates to this community, and things that we are really proud as we see the community grow, and things that we see really proud amongst Genesis holders and multi-piece holders, right, is as we evolve and think over the long term, we are going community first. This is the foundation in my mind of long-term success. So here's some really interesting stats for you to just keep in the back of your mind as to how Timepieces has evolved over the past 3 weeks, right? So we're really not that old when you start to think about it. On the day of minting, there were only 1,294 unique wallets holding timepieces. And as of today, we have nearly 2,900 unique wallets holding either a Genesis or an inspiration piece, right? And so, we're looking at essentially 150% growth in people who possess a timepiece within their wallet. And that's really important to us. As of today, and this was something that actually blew my mind. We had opened up access for Genesis holders to connect to time.com and remove the paywall through December 31st, 2023, our 100th anniversary. Inspiration holders can do it through December 31st, 2021. And TIMECat holders can do it through March 31st, 2022. As of today, over 3,000 people have connected their wallets to time.com to remove the paywall and access the site. I mean, this is incredible to me. This is one of the most staggering. The fact that in a few days, 3,000 people have done this blows my mind. And what I would ask is if you haven't done it, try.
It's like, it's really cool. As of today, our Discord community channel, which is, I think just a little over 2 weeks old, has grown to over 6,000 members. Okay. And we've done the Discord growth and we've done the Twitter growth with no major marketing effort. This is all organic. Like, we are going to bring and introduce marketing in eventually, and you will see it. And you started to see it this week with the cover of Time for Kids. If you haven't seen it, we'll make sure that you see it. I'll repost it in the comments. But with no major marketing effort, we've seen this community grow to over 6,000 members. And we've seen engagement from this community grow over 10% since last week, right? Which is really important to us. And as we discussed, and I thought that this one was so interesting, if you were at the artist talk on Monday, you saw that we had 5 artists on stage. We had Victor Mascara, Mark Burkhart, Tim O'Brien, Perrin Haderi, Yvette Hammond. 3 of them had never done NFTs before in their career. This was their first time ever doing NFTs. 2 of them had, right? And were very proficient in it. One of the goals of us entering into the space was making sure that we were introducing this revolution, this Web3 revolution, to the larger general public. And here's a stat that blows my mind. 63% of this community is new to Discord and has been on Discord for less than 1 month. And I love that, because what it's showing is that not only are we having a collaborative community and an optimistic community and a positive community, but we're having a community that just never engaged in this space before and is beginning to really take it seriously and thinking about it. And I hope that for all of you in the audience that are listening to this, I hope that that just makes you proud. I really do. When I look out and I see 390 people, it just makes me proud. And I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate, and we all appreciate you taking the time to be with us for these meetings. When Time for Kids, if you haven't seen this is fascinating, and I thought it would make a smile on everyone's face. Time for Kids on Monday, the cover was Pack 1,000 Cubes, and it was about the NFT revolution. And it was an extension of a piece that we had put into Time, but written for what I would say is the future generations of artists and students who are beginning to realize the benefits of NFTs as it relates to their creativity, as it relates to potential monetary returns, as it relates to anything. As we put that out, I tweeted it on my personal handle, and I can tell you that my personal handle had over 500,000 media impressions, and every major player in the space, including Pack, commented on it. And so it was just like a really fun, organic, wonderful way. But I highlight it just to start to show you that, that cover went to over 1 million people. That issue went to over 1 million people. The press impressions are far greater than 500,000. And it just continues to reinforce the community. You will also see over the coming weeks and months that we are continuing, and today even, we are continuing to expand our team. So this is a very important strategic shift for us here at Time to take advantage of this Web3 revolution and evolution and really firmly evolve ourselves in this. And so we are hiring. And, what we've seen is there's a lot of talent in this community. And so our preference is actually to hire from within this community. And so as you hear, and we're going to post the jobs in this community, as you hear jobs that you think you might actually be qualified for, please reach out to the right person. Like Maya and Lane oversee community, and they oversee, design and materials, and Bharat, is overseeing all technology. But when I say that we value you more than just the feedback and the suggestions. Like um, we think that some of the best talent in the space can be found here amongst you all. And so it's something that Maya and I saw firsthand when we ran Ars Technica, and they did the same sort of approach, and it's something that we've talked about quite a bit. Um, a few final sort of just housekeeping things. On Monday, we're going to host our third artist talk, and the artists are going to be Olive Allen, it's going to be Hoda Bakali, Amani Gorusa, Allison Deka, um, some of whom are in the audience today. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be hosting Beeple, Metakoven, Tubador, Veritas Kami, the Metaverse team. And what that's really going to focus on is our Dreamverse partnership, timepieces, and it's going to go anywhere and anywhere. So it's like we're going to really jump to the community for questions. And yes, we all know what number one question is going to be: when Beeple, when Beeple, when Beeple. And I could just tell you, I'll ask him that question. You have my assurance, but he also knows I've been saying when Beeple to him too. Okay, he's a dear personal friend, and I will wear him down one day, I think. Um, the bigger thing that I also wanted to just make sure that that people were aware of, and this was really important, is that if you are in New York or planning to be in New York for NFT NYC, we have actually secured a 20% discount for Genesis and Inspiration holders that we will post in the Timepiece holder channels, and in the Beeple, conversation, so that way you can access it. So don't buy Dreamverse tickets just yet, because we've secured a 20% discount for all of you who are Genesis and Inspiration holders. And then the link to this discount will just expire on November 3rd. So just make sure that you just do it before then. But we thought that that was good news and just a little extra good guy that we will do that. Is there an LA branch of Time? Yes, there is an LA branch of Time. We have people all over the world, in fact. That was just 3RLE, just so you know. Um, and so where we're looking to hire does not make a difference for this. We have people all over the world that are mods, and we have people all over the world who are engineers. And we have people all over the world that do many different capabilities. So, like the question is Latin America or LA? I read it as LA because I'm a New Yorker. Sorry about that from Oriolano Noah.eth. But whether it's Latin America or it's Los Angeles, it does not make a difference. Like, we just want great talent. Um, the other things is we have other incredible artists outside of the timepiece artists lined up, and we also are having a lot of conversations with a lot of thought leaders that will be coming into announcements in the coming weeks. The final thing I would also say is, before I get into a bigger announcement, is we are on display at the Sotheby's Metaverse, and we put on display a really incredible piece that highlights the history of time and every cover it's ever done, every cover line it's ever done. I spoke to Sotheby's this morning and I said, I'm just not pleased with how you've displayed it, because they've not taken into account the interactivity of the piece. The interactivity of the piece is actually what makes it so spectacular. But in the past 2 days, and with 5 days remaining in it, we've already seen 36 bids on the piece. And so I just want you to be aware of like different areas where time might show up other in the NFT space other than in timepieces. And then the other is if you go onto Super Rare, you'll see that we posted the original Marc Chagall self-portrait, and it currently has an offer of 60 ETH on it that we are not accepting. Given the values of the one of ones, like, we want to make sure that we never devalue the pieces over the long term. But the most exciting I love this, Bharat. You're answering questions in Spanish now. So, like, I was not aware that Bharat speaks Spanish, but apparently Bharat speaks Spanish, or he knows at least de nada, right? Like, so Bharat, what is it? Do you speak Spanish fluently?
I spent 8 years in
You there, Bharat?
Caracas, Mexico City, Buenos Aires. Speak a little bit of Portuguese too because I worked in Sao Paulo too. So
Oh, yeah, I just want to make sure. I'm very impressed that you're like throwing out Spanish all of a sudden. But like, if you speak Spanish, I want to make sure that we go. The 20% discount is for Dreamverse tickets. If you want to access the Dreamverse event, the Dreamverse event is going to be the first public unveiling of the Beeple 5000. Just so you know, and it's going to be a gallery of NFT art during the day at Terminal 5, and then it's also going to be a music festival in the evening. So just so you know what that goes for. But the most exciting announcement that we want to sort of talk about today is we are going to actually create an artist in residence program. And as mentioned in the first town hall, like we do have three main objectives within this community. First is we want to celebrate great creatives, right? That's been one of the cornerstones of Time over the past 98 years. The second is we want to celebrate living history, right? Like that's what Time really does amazing, right? Like what the red border captures is it says in 15 years, if you look back at what's inside that red border, you know it mattered against this ever-changing world. And then the third is like we want to look at Time's global franchises, the Time 100, Person of the Year, and others, and think how can these exist in the Web3 space? And so what we're going to do with this artist in residence is we're going to have an artist in residence named on a quarterly basis to develop an intimate, focused collection of art that marries that artist's signature style with a renowned Time franchise. And the inaugural recipient, which we're going to name today, and Maya, you can actually, if you want, you can bring them up onto the stage.
Is an individual who's featured in the latest issue of Time for Kids, whose cover story, as I mentioned, is about the future generations of artists, shifting and changing the NFT landscape. And so the first inaugural artist in residence for us will be Nyla Hayes. And so I just want to congratulate her, and Maya, can you bring Nyla up onto stage? Please, like as the audience, I hope you can congratulate Nyla, creator of the long necky ladies.
Lane, do you see her?
Do you see Nyla?
if you
Nyla?
raise your hand, we can pull you up.
Yeah, if you can raise your hand. There you go.
There we go. Hold on.
There she is.
Hi.
Nyla, how are you? You there?
Can you hear us?
I think you're on mute.
We don't hear you, Nyla.
Uh-oh. Nyla, can you hear me?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
I feel like we're getting rugged right now. Maya, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I heard Nyla first.
Nyla, you should speak now, Nyla. I
Hello?
think it's
Try
on.
again.
Nyla, perfect.
There
I can
we
hear
go.
you. Perfect. So Nyla, congratulations. Up.
I
Do we
think
boot
she's
her?
having,
You
tech
booted her?
Okay, I'm going to pull her up again.
Gotta love this. I feel like we're on Twitter Spaces. This is amazing. So Nyla, this is amazing. I gotta tell you, Yeah, big wise guy. Nyla did get rugged. Okay, amazing. Nyla, can you hear me? You're on mute, Nyla. Oh, it breaks my heart. So how about this, Nyla, as you get off of mute, what I want to do is I'm going to throw it over to Maya. Maya, how about you sort of tell everyone about this collection, and then I'll throw it back, and or if you want, why don't you just have the conversation with Nyla about the collection and the questions for a second? Does that work?
Sure. Nyla, can we? Oh, we lost her again. All right. Well, so we are super excited that Nyla is going to be our next collection and our first artist in residence, and that this program will be quarterly. So the collection will be an intimate collection of her work themed to the Time franchise, as Keith said. We won't tell you yet which franchise, but we'll announce that on November 10th, right before the raffle. The collection will be 1,000 pieces and all will be unique. So as promised after the last mint, that it will be smaller and unique. A reminder, because I know people are going to ask, is that you're eligible for the whitelist raffle if you're a Genesis holder, a TIMECat cover holder, or an inspiration holder. Those who have the REKT, it was not official and it is not included. Apologies. We are holding just a reminder on kind of backing us all up on why we are where we are. We're holding the whitelist raffle with the POAP to avoid bots and gas fees, and because of the limited number of pieces compared to the number of holders. There are a lot of priorities we're balancing right now. We know we can't make everybody happy, but we're trying. And right now we're focused, as Keith said, on building the overall community because we believe that's our foundation of value over time. We truly value all of you and our Genesis holders, and in large drops promise that we'll guarantee a spot on the whitelist. And in smaller drops, we'll make Genesis holders a priority, as we will do for this collection. So after all of that, hopefully Nyla is back and able, and we can hear her. Nyla, can you say
Hey
hello?
guys, you guys hear me?
Yeah, now we
Hello.
can. We're so excited. Welcome back and congratulations.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
Keith, did you want to host the conversation? You want?
No, you do the conversation. I do
Okay.
enough talking. I want to shut up for a minute.
All right. So Nyla, we're so excited, and I know that there's a lot of people as I look at these town hall, the Q&As, like so many people say Nyla, Nyla, and you have so many fans, and it's just incredible that you're 12, which I have a 12-year-old, and after seeing you, I don't tell him, but I consider him a slacker. But and you're already a successful digital artist. Kind of, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into this space and how it's affected your life?
Yeah, sure. Well, on March the 6th this year, my mom got a text message from my uncle saying that I should turn my art into a NFT. So the reason why he sent this text is because like only my close family knew about my art, and they knew that I wanted to do something with my art, but like we really wasn't sure how to go about it because at the time we really wasn't like had a lot of extra money to do something with my art. And after we got the text, we looked up videos on how to get started minting art as an NFT. And from there, we decided to like mint my art. And so I was like super excited. And I also was nervous to get started because I excited to show my art, but I was nervous that people might not like my art or think it's like weird. So then we had to like learn how to like mint to the chain, which require like Ethereum to pay gas. And then I minted my art on March the 10th, and I started a Twitter account and followed like basically everyone and like sent hundreds of DMs with a link to my collection to people on the NFT space. And like two people like responded. The first was like Trish, and was like on March the 11th, and Trish gave me like some positive feedback about my art, and she also made sure that my parents were helping me. So after talking to her, after she talked on the phone with my mom, she invited me to a clubhouse, and I met so many wonderful people like John and so many other amazing artists. And the other person that I responded to my DMs was Artificate, and Artificate invited me to his art gallery, and he was so kind to let me put my art in his gallery. He also was like my first collector. And how this NFT space changed my life was naturally I'm like really shy. I'm a shy person, so
Really?
I would rather, yeah, I would rather like express myself with art other than like words and stuff. So I think the community really helped me and gave me a lot of support and confidence, which kind of like made me come out of my comfort zone. So yeah, that's how I think the NFT space changed my life.
I
So,
love that as an answer.
hey, Maya, can I say one thing quickly? Because I thought
Say
this
as
was
much
really
as you want.
important. Like when I was on Clubhouse one day, and I think John Knopf is going to join in 1 second. And John and Ellie 2C showed up in the Clubhouse room, and they both had these long necky ladies. And I said, "What is this?" And they explained to me what it was. And I just opened up the room totally randomly. This was months ago. Not right. This had to have been 4 months ago, right?
Yeah.
And we opened up the room, and all of a sudden the room had 500 people in it, including Nyla and her mother, and all of the PFPs were long necky ladies, and they were so amazing. And so like it was one of these things that was like such a special moment for me, from like as I started to see how people can connect with community. And I think that what, Nyla, what you have done, which is just so impressive, and what makes me so proud that you are our sort of inaugural artist in residence, is you have you have um, you have not only a very unique style artistically, as we think about like what is it that you're going to do, right? Like I could see how it applies to so many different franchises that we might have that could be so fun. But you've also done an amazing job of building community. And like I could tell you, if you want to smile, just look at like people's responses in the Q&A to just this announcement. Like people were really excited, and really you just have a lot of people who really love you. And so like I'm sorry to jump in on that, and I'll throw it back over to you, Maya, for a second. But I'd be remiss to say it. And I asked John Knopf, who's here. Perfect. Hold on. I want John, raise your hand. I want John Knopf to come up on stage. Um, uh, uh, because John is not only a uh, artist within the Genesis collection, but John, I mean, you've been so wonderfully supportive of Nyla as well. And I know I had to slip it to you last night that Nyla was going to be named the first artist in residence. But like Nyla, John, I know that the two of you are super close. I just want to give the stage to the two of you for a second before Maya jumps back in.
Yeah, thank you so much, Keith. Can you hear me at all?
No.
Uh, I'm I'm on the road right now, but I mean, it's such an incredible moment. When I heard the news, I mean, it really brought tears to my eyes, because there's something about, the youth that really is important to this, generation of crypto and where we're going with art and everything. But to see what Nyla has done, like I look at what she's done, and I feel like we showed her the door, but she opened it. I mean, she has opened the door and has been sprinting and smashing through doors ever since. And along the way, she asks questions and needs a little bit of assistance, but for the most part, Nyla has done this on her own, and it's incredible to witness, because I've shown a lot of people the door, but Nyla has literally made a statement and carried that torch and just lit those doors on fire. And it's amazing, because like I've shown 30, 40, 50-year-old people these doors, and none of them have done what Nyla has done. So as much as like, I appreciate the community that we've built around her, this really has been like 99% Nyla, because we've shown a lot of people doors, but Nyla just seems to have taken it, and she's become very professional. I mean, she gets on stages, she talks to people, she's articulate. The first time I heard her 8 months ago, she has grown so much in the space, and it's just so incredible to see what she's doing today. And I really, I mean, thank you, Keith, and Time, and just the entire community, because really, I mean, if we're in this blockchain for the long run, if we're trying to really focus on the long-term value of what we're doing, then Nyla and people like Nyla, children like Nyla, those are the future. And that's really what we should be betting on. So thank you guys so much for doing this.
No, this is awesome. And Maya, back over to you.
Thank you, John. That just, I mean, this whole conversation is really so compelling. And for those who just joined, I just want to reiterate kind of what just happened here. So TIMEPieces has announced its first artist in residence, and we're so happy to make it Nyla Hayes. And as John just said, that's because artists like her at 12 years old are our future, as well as the amazing presence and obviously the support she's received from the artists like John who are in our Genesis collection. But and so what this means is that quarterly we're going to name an artist in residence. Nyla is the first one, and we're going to pair them with a Time franchise to create a collection. And that collection will be an intimate focused collection. And so Nyla, I would just love to know, I know you're kind of at the start of this, but how you think you'll approach this artist in residency and merge your youth with the 98-year-oldness of the Time brand. As Keith likes to say, together we'll be 110. He's still there. Nyla? Unmute. Oh no, rugged again?
Rugged again. This kills me.
I know, we did Discord because we thought it was more stable, huh?
I know, right? So Nyla, just jump in when you can hear.
You can come back.
A few things that a few people should know. One is the website is live now. If you go to time.com/timepieces, you'll see that Nyla and her long necky collection is on the page, and like we've started to promote it. The second is that after this town hall at 11 o'clock, Nyla is going to be on the Oshiny show, talking about her work and her art, and I will be joined there, and some of the members of the Timepieces team will be joined there, and the editor-in-chief of Time for Kids will also be joined there, Andrea Del Banco. But Nyla, can you hear us now, or are you good?
Yeah, I think so. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. So
Okay.
Maya, you had one or two questions, and then I want to make sure that we get through some of the rest because we're at 10:38 and we have some important things.
Okay. So I just wanted to kind of see your thoughts on approaching your artist in residency. I know it's been, 10 minutes, but in the announcement, but what you think about how you combine your approach with Time's 98-year-old history.
Honestly, I don't know, but I'm really, really excited, and I know whatever I do, I want to be able to look back at it 50 years from now and be proud of the work that I did.
That's awesome. And then just real quick, lastly, because you've come so far, as noted, I love what John said about you really running through those doors that were open. Do you have any advice for other people, kids or adults who want to get into this space?
Sure. Be fearless, support others, never give up, and whatever you do, do it with love. And I also just want to say thank you guys so much for this opportunity to be being an artist in residence for Time. Super excited.
We're super excited to have you. And what great words of wisdom. I love those, not only for getting into NFTs, but for life. So I'm going to take those with me. I don't know about the rest of you.
Congratulations, Nyla. Like, seriously, we are so excited.
Thank you so much.
I think John Knopf is the only one who has no enthusiasm whatsoever.
That's so true, Keith. 100%.
So Maya, I mean, you have some other big announcements going on, and Bharat, I know you have some stuff too. And Lane, like what? I will please take it away.
I feel like, how people used to say in real life, I'm all that stands between you and lunch. I feel that I'm all that stands between people and a POAP. But anyway, I did want to take a second to say that the mod team continues to expand, and this week we added Taru, It's Timo, King T, and IBK all in this past week, although it seems more like forever in the best way possible. And I'm still so grateful for Big Wise Guy and Spot Long Dong and Jesus for being early hand raisers too. And I hope you feel the difference they're making in the community, as well as DDOT and who's been at it on the more technical side, and everyone with him. It's just, we feel so much more supported, and they are doing such. We had our first official mod meeting. The whole mod team is working really hard to answer your questions and keep you informed, and mostly keep you safe. To the point about the fake lane, it was actually a mod hero who caught the fake lane, and I don't want to blow his cover, but he knows who he is. So we're super excited about all of them. There's still a few spots. If anybody wants to raise their hand, just DM me. I do encourage you to like start out if you're interested by just getting in there and kind of informally answering questions, pointing people back to the FAQs or to announcements or whatever, so that we can kind of see the approach that you would take. It really helps us get a start. We're also looking for a production design resource to kind of help us with, make the announcements and POAPs and all kinds of things. So if anybody's interested in that, DM Lane or I on that front, and that would be great. We're also kind of, as I hope you've seen, moving forward on our Twitter presence and launching about the artist series of tweets on Twitter this week. We have such an incredible group of Genesis artists, and we want to make sure that you have a chance to get to know them better, both through their artist statements, which you may not have had a chance to see, as well as through the talks, which have just been incredible and so inspiring. And so if you don't follow us on Twitter yet, we're at TIMEPieces, and we'd love to have you. And then lastly, last week I mentioned that Big Wise Guy and I were interested in a more informal gathering to get to know each other better. So this Sunday we're going to host Chill Time on this stage at 2 p.m. UTC. And we hope you'll grab a chilled drink that's appropriate for your time zone and bring your authentic self and come by just to chat so we get to know each other better. Warning, there may be puns because we do that, but we look forward to it. So again, thanks everybody for everything. It's really just been an incredible few weeks, and the community really coming together, and we look forward to moving forward with that. So I'll pass to Bharat.
Hey there. I'm also standing in between POAP and us here. So let me make it short and quick today. So as Keith mentioned and Maya did, security is important for us. If you we've heard a number of reports already, but if anybody's reaching out to you directly, do let us know. Do let the mods know as well. Nobody should be asking for any personal information directly. So if that happens, do let us know. None of us will ask you for any personal information. And in true give first culture we're setting up here, I've already had people reach out asking to build educational materials for this community to help us be more aware of scams and ways to infiltrate in this community and fish for information, and then how do we avoid it. So we'll continue reiterating it in every town hall. There were a couple of bugs that were fixed in our subscriber wallet connection on our website. I just want you all to know today, most of the bugs have been fixed. It should be pretty seamless. We also when you connect the wallet, it drops the sign in and subscription button, so there's no confusion. And we'll continue improving the subscription workflow. So, and we're also in discussions with Ethereum name services on signing in with Ethereum. So that's also a work in progress. We're busy right now building the workflow for the next mint, which is November 17th. So the work has already started. We're working on the registration site, the whitelisting part of the mint, the mint itself, and then also we're going to include account profiles. So when you go to nft.time.com, you should be able to see connect your wallet and be able to see your profile, see if you have a minting pass or not, and if you've used it, things like that. And the other thing I'm busy is on the hiring. We have 3 roles that we're going to hire. One is a Web3 Infrastructure Engineer. We already have a potential candidate in mind. We also have 2 other positions. a product manager role and a Solidity Engineer role. And like Keith mentioned, we would love to hire from the community. If you know of folks, please do refer to me, reach out. I will publish the job descriptions very soon to the community, and you should be able to forward that and see if you're interested or if your friends are interested. Those are my updates. I guess I'll pass it on to Lane now.
Hey guys, thank you for Bharat. Again, I just wanted to reiterate before I start, I'm really sorry about the scam. I will absolutely never ask any of you for personal information or ETH. So anyways, a few quick reminders about upcoming events that are happening on the Time stage. This Sunday, October 24th, we'll be having Chill Time. This is open to anyone, and it's happening at 2 p.m. UTC. Our next artist talk is on Monday the 25th. It's featuring Imani LaRussa, Olive Allen, Allison Deka, and Hoda Bakali. This is happening at 10 p.m. UTC. On the 26th, which is Tuesday, we'll be having our special conversation with Beeple, Metacoven, Troubadour, and Veritas about Dreamverse. Again, this is 10 p.m. UTC. And then our next town hall will be Thursday the 28th at 2 p.m. UTC. Quick reminder, please, if you are interested in the artist talks or the Beeple conversation, make sure that you're verified, as these events are only for timepiece holders and artists. If you have any problems verifying through the verified channel, please reach out to us or the mods, and we're happy to help you out. Today, I wanted to discuss the suggestions a little bit. While we are unfortunately unable to respond to everyone who writes in, I can assure you that we're definitely reading them. Every week, I pull out the repeated suggestions or anything outstanding, and we talk about it as a group to see what we can realistically enact. I wanted to give a special call out to BYB747, CKB, and Gravity for their constructive suggestions. Please keep them coming. Again, we definitely are reading them. Some of the great suggestions that we've seen in this channel, small and large, are moving all the time zones to UTC, adjusting the programming times, and having an events calendar so people know when things are happening and the times work for everyone. There's also been a lot of great technical items, such as removing the sign-in and subscribe when you've connected your wallet to time.com. We've also heard a lot about marketing and Twitter strategies that we're definitely working on. And then we've had other great suggestions, such as having PFPs for our community. We're taking all of this into consideration, and most immediately in the coming weeks, you're going to see updated FAQs from us. You'll have unique POAPs from each event. You'll see an events calendar coming soon. And also, as we've already started to roll out more robust Twitter content that includes some of the artist spotlights. There's a lot more that we're working on internally. And as a note, just the bigger suggestions will take more time to discuss, but we definitely see them and we're listening and watching. So thank you for everyone who has taken the time to give us advice. Last housekeeping note, and then I'll pass it to Keith to take us home. I know everyone's worried about the POAP. I'll be posting the notes from the meeting and the POAP in announcements after we wrap up.
So is it my turn now? Is that what you're like? There's no handoff. You're just going to stop talking.
Sorry. Yes, I'm now gone on mute. No, I will now give it to Keith to take us home.
Oh, no. I just so everyone knows, since there's 495 people in this room right now, it's so humbling and it's so appreciated. And thank you so much. Like with Lane being impersonated and with me having just a terrible sense of humor, the entire morning and evening, I kept on referring to her as, will the real Slim Laney please stand up? Please stand up. And so, like big wise guy, I throw that out to you because since every time I've mocked another fellow colleague of mine, you've turned it into some sort of hashtag. But, I really do think that there's something here on will the real Slim Laney please stand up. I just hope what you're seeing is what we stressed, week after week, which is we're playing a long game here, right? And our focus is we're going to continue to build. We're going to build the foundation so that way it's really strong first. And then we're going to slowly but surely turn on faucets as we see them fit. But like one of the most important aspects of this strategy, regardless of how big our brand is actually you, the community. And, I want to make sure that that's like really abundantly clear that, the reason we keep coming back to the values of this community and the things that we respect, things that we see shared in many other communities. We see it in the Cool Cats, we see it in Robotos, we see it in Dead Fellows, we see it in other communities. I just named those three because those are the three that I tend to go into personally. Optimism, positivity, constructive feedback, give first. Like, I can't tell you how much it's appreciated. This is a different community than it was 9 days ago. And I'm just so excited about where it will be, not 9 days from now, but in a year from now. And I hope that as you see, with the changes that we've been making, the fact that we're staffing up, the fact that we're actually putting more resources into it now, the fact that we, are really beginning to evolve, aspects of it from the initial drop, that in a month's time, 2 months' time, it's going to be completely different than where it was. And so, I just want to end today before we get to the POAP. And Lane, you can just put the POAP in right now if you want, right? Just put it in Q&A right now. I just want to end by saying thank you to you all. Like, we are trying our hardest. We are listening. We are evolving. We are moving it as fast as we possibly can. Like, we really, really appreciate doing this alongside all of you. And if you could please just continue to put suggestions in, even if you think it's the smallest suggestion in the world, like place a link here, do that there. Like, we've evolved our Twitter strategy based on your feedback. We've fixed things on time.com based on your feedback. This is the best of the Web3 evolution revolution in my mind, which is we get to do this with you. And so the POAP, Lane, is it posted?
The POAP will be posted at 11 a.m.
So we ended early. It's okay. The POAP will go in the notes in 7 minutes. I'm going to end this call unless you all want to hear DJ Bad go. DJ Bad is Bharat, but I'm going to end it now. And please know that all of your support is just tremendously appreciated. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you continue to participate and add to the building of this great community. You are the best, and thank you.